Men with no underwear take on a guy who doesn't understand how insurance works. This is Roadhouse on Stinker Madness!
Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. We got the Stinker Madness.
Hello, welcome to Stinker Madness. I'm your host, Justin. With me is Sam and Jackie. How are you guys?
Hot and bothered with all the hot cross buns.
God damn it. They're not that hot cross buns.
Actually, I just love Sam Elliott so much in this movie. I just think he's the hottest thing since Rice.
And seeing his man fuzz and possibly top of his wiener was really something else.
Oh, it was. Oh my God, I almost fainted. Almost. I would not have been holding a cup of scalding hot tea. I probably would have.
I have a real hard and heavy question for you. So Sam
Hard
Elliott,
and heavy.
Yeah. Sam Elliott in this movie is made
Sam
you,
Elliott in every movie.
Yeah. He's made you get all Twitter-pated. Yet he is really, really, really white trash. Really white trash. And you threw Corvette Summer completely under the bus because it's a tale about two people that aren't necessarily white trash. They're just porn mixed up.
This guy's tough white trash.
He is the whitest of white trash. This is like every shitty small town douchebag.
And he's made a living ducking responsibility.
This is like the wet dream of every long-haired guy that refuses to cut his mullet because it's tough.
Yeah, but you also have to remember that I think that Chris Elliott.
Chris Elliott?
Chris Elliott, the goofy guy.
No,
With the
from the
Captain America.
From the greatest show ever, Get a Life.
Yeah, or from Something About Mary with the pus on his eyeball.
Used to be the head writer for the David Letterman show.
No.
Not that guy? Abby Elliott's dad?
Captain America.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
Chris Elliott.
I think that he is just hot.
So-
Hot as all
We're
hell. So
all-
I apparently do not have a type because I can go from Chris Evans to Sam Elliott in this movie and think, yeah, they're both really good looking.
Well, I can be attracted to various women as well, but
I'm thinking Sam Elliott in this movie.
But
He looks
Sam
like
Elliott is not one of them.
he looks like he probably smells in this movie, like he hasn't bathed in a while.
He is the king of trash.
like
he's
if
pretty
Sam
dirty.
Elliott was in Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, I'd go, mm-mm. As well, I mean, I kind of did. I didn't watch the movie, so I guess I did that with the other three. But
Yeah. So Roadhouse is the tale of about a bar. It's not so much the tale of a man. It's the tale of a bar.
it's a tale of a town.
Yeah, a tale of a
that
town.
doesn't make
It's-
sense.
It's kind of like Footloose in that way.
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
Hey, man, you guys can't have fun here, except for it's the opposite because
You guys are
it's
having
a lot
too
of
much fun.
and now you're having too much fun. We got to bring in Dalton to calm this shit down. Otherwise, you guys are going to burn the whole town down. Oh, oops! We bring in Dalton, and the whole town burns down anyways.
Only that one building.
And houses and
Okay, those two buildings.
I'm gonna just burn a question right now.
Okay.
Can anyone in the town of Jasper, and it's supposed to be Jasper, Kansas,
Missouri.
or Jasper, Missouri,
Yeah.
but there's actually a Jasper in Kansas, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Either way, can anyone in that town count?
No.
I don't think so.
Because the bar owner's like, you need to come clean up my bar,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to pay you $5,000 up front and $500 a night.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, he was probably making about the same amount of money.
The owner of the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, before cost. $500 a night in 1988 for a bar, that's payola. In a small town, like, in a decent town, that's payola. And this is a small fucking town, and he's gonna pay Dalton $500 a night? Let's just say...
He works it for a month, right?
Why not the whole time? Why does he only have to work there for a month?
We figure that this movie takes the place over the course of a month.
Yeah, but it seems to me like it's like an ongoing contract. Let's just say that it's an ongoing contract for shits and giggles.
I think that you're on board until somebody else comes in and peels the Dalton from you.
Oh, so it's like a tournament fighting? Like who's ever the tougher guy comes in and...
No,
Or
like if-
Dalton gets bribed and goes someplace else.
Once the bar's all nice, then somebody like rolls in.
Oh, you gotta come get the Dalton.
I got a titty bar in South Louisiana. Nobody comes there, but I'm willing to pay you $38,000 to make it less crappy.
Well, you still have to have a Dalton, not as Dalton E. Dalton, but you still have to have a cooler after Dalton leaves. So say he's making $350 a night.
Which it
'Cause
never
he's-
really shows you Dalton training his,
Minions.
his protege. He just tells him to be nice.
Well, in that 1 month, Dalton made $12,000.
That's
Plus
a
the
lot.
$5,000 up front. That's $17,000. 1 month of barring.
That's quite a lot.
Like a lot.
You and Sam should get into this business.
How? Where do you start? Are
Well-
you ninja training? I guess.
Yeah, Tai Chi ninja training.
Apparently, my father wasn't an engineering draftsman, so I don't understand the throat rip thing, so I've got kind of a handicap in that I can't do that.
Yeah, you don't know the throat rip. Well, there is so much fucking material in this movie. We need to get into this. So the movie starts out with Dalton working at the bandstand club, and I'm guessing it's L.A. or
It doesn't
someplace
make
LAS.
any sense.
There's
It doesn't
people
matter.
outside with Ferraris and
Yeah,
all the women are dressed to the nines, and it's like cool.
could be
like,
Miami.
Yeah,
You never
ooh,
know.
Oh, this is the hot spot. Ooh, all the cool people are going here, and everything's peachy hunky dory.
At the same time, because he was in Memphis before, he was somewhere else. They're in you kind of feel like they're in that area. So maybe
The
it's
Midwest someplace.
someplace.
Maybe
The
it's Chicago.
South.
Maybe it's Chicago. He
Who
went
knows?
from Memphis to Chicago. I
Maybe.
don't know. I'm just gonna make some guesses, or it's Cleveland, or it's a big town, and it's got some fancy business to it. But
Yeah.
everything's fine there. The drunks are happy, and there's no fighting, and it's just hand over fist money, and it's great. And you're led to believe by the end of this movie that it's because of Dalton.
Yes.
But there's a bar in Jasper, Missouri that does not have the same thing going on.
Eyeballs on the floor every night.
Every night.
Every night, someone loses an eye, not just poked out, but it comes out of their ocular cavity, detaches from their head, and lands on the floor where it is left.
And then swept up at the end of the night.
And where it's just a tool
We
for,
just hope.
for loose dancing. Like you squish the eyeball with your foot,
Yeah,
and then you can do that swanky hip action.
I would hope that it's like one of those steakhouses that has the peanut shells on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That the
Instead
double
of crunch,
deuce is
crunch,
just
crunch, it's
squish,
splish. Yeah.
Which, I'd wear goggles, but I'd probably go in there once, right? Be like, whoa. But that's I guess that's, I shouldn't. That's the tourist thing to do. It's like going to Hawaii in a fanny pack. If you go into the double deuce wearing goggles, you're fresh meat.
Yep.
They're like, that's the guy that doesn't want to lose his eye. Let's get him.
Well, Dalton has a fight at the bandstand club. There's some guy that gets in a fight with a woman over $100 bill. I couldn't really tell what this fight was over.
I couldn't also tell if he kicked her out from under, kicked the stool out from underneath her, or he just kicked her straight in the box.
I'm going with straight in the box, because
It
that's
looked-
kind of what it looked like.
It looked like it
Kinda
was
looked
straight in the
like-
box.
Yeah, but her chair also whip.
Well, I mean,
underneath her.
if you make solid box contact like that and she's sitting down.
Yeah, all right. Well, Dalton takes it outside, because as we learned, that's rule number 2, is take it outside.
But then he just leaves it outside.
Yeah, leave it outside. He walks away. Just keep on rocking. You guys get on out of here. I'm going to go back in, because that's not how I do it. Or is it? Because it seems like that's what he does. It seems like
That
Dalton
guy
gets in
just
fights.
wasn't worth his time.
Yeah, I guess.
No, the whole time it's like, oh, philosophy this, blah, 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 that. And then throughout the course of the movie, all you do is get in fights. And he never says yes, but ultimately the answer is yes.
Totally. So the Double Deuce owner finds him, and he's like, oh, hey, man, Dalton, it seems like you're the guy. You're the second best bouncer in the world after Wade. Because there's
a thing.
They're like professional wrestlers.
Because being a bouncer isn't like a job in between working at the fish market and then finding requisition manager position at a warehouse or something, or you're in college but you were a big dude and then now I'm the director of marketing. I'm a bouncer by trade. That's gonna work out.
I'm the number 2 in the world. You've heard of me. My name's Dalton. And it progresses where everybody has heard of Dalton. As soon as he comes to the Double Deuce, they're like, it's Dalton. It's Dalton.
Yeah, they're really passing that around.
Yeah, it's like everybody that works in a bar has heard of Dalton or Wade. They're more important than Tom Cruise in Cocktail.
John Elway in real life.
Yeah, John Elway in real life is a pretty good comparison at this time because they're amazed. Like, they're in the same room as Dalton. Hey, Leopold, who's that Leopold? Except for it's Dalton. Oh, Dalton. Ooh. But either way, he shows up into the Double Deuce. He's hired immediately. He doesn't even have to give 2 weeks at the bandstand. But because, let's face it, everything.
If you're making $500 a night and the deal was $5,000 up front, $500 a night, that's the deal. There wasn't like a stipulation that he was going to give 2 weeks. He just walks when he wants.
Yeah, well, he's Dalton. So, he doesn't fly there, though, we should mention, because it's too dangerous.
The safest way to travel.
Yeah. He instead drives his Mercedes, which plays out later.
He should have ridden a three-wheeler. He shouldn't. They like have a map sequence.
Wesley's not afraid of no three-wheeler.
No, he's dangerous, man.
The most dangerous mode of
That's
transportation
how you know
of all
in this
time.
movie that Brad Wesley is the most dangerous person ever, is he just recreationally rides a three-wheeler around his yard.
Yeah, but nobody looks dangerous on a three-wheeler. You just know
You
that
just
guy's
know.
probably going to endo that thing.
Yeah, that's why he's in love with the doctor, because he has to be. He owns a three-wheeler.
Is he in love with the doctor?
Yeah, they said that explicitly.
Oh,
That's why that's his beef with, like, Danton is a nuisance, but then it's a problem.
I did
Because he
not...
puts his boner in the wrong place.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother. So, okay,
Then
let's
now you're
table
hung
it.
up on something?
Yeah, no, let's table that and come back to it. So the Double Deuce is a barn, basically. It's just a warehouse-looking thing that's got... What do you say the first night in there? There's probably 50 people to 100 people inside the Double Deuce.
You know, as it progresses, there's not any more people in there ever.
Mhm.
There's just more stupid shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like they're upside down on hiring Dalton because...
And then buying new signs, painting the whole, like, cleaning up the image of it.
So that they could sell the same amount of actually less alcohol.
Yes.
Because there's no alcohol for sale.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, this place.
Numbers.
It's shirts off time, like inside. You go dance and take your shirt off and dance around on the dance floor. There's a cage surrounding the band because they need to be protected from flying... Chicken wire from flying bottles because the problem with this place is the band. So people are pissed off. I guess. It seems like the only thing that's going on in this place is the band, but people are still throwing shit at the fucking band.
Well, it seems like every dickhead in America comes to this bar to put eyeballs on the floor.
Oh, so it's like the Dalton of bars. Like everybody knows about this place. Like if you wanna fuck shit up,
That's why he kicks Terry Funk's character out, because he's
travel
like,
to Jasper, Missouri, and
you've
go to
turned
the
this into a place that people come to try to fight you because you're a tough guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think.
I don't know. I don't know why people like this place.
I don't know how this place exists. Why they never really go into the size of Jasper.
There's that one opening crane shot at the very beginning that seems like it's a small town, but it's kind of nice. Like it's just a normal small
So
town.
Ben Gazzara's character has done a good job thus far.
Yeah.
Because ultimately he drives around like a dickhead throughout the movie. He's kind of an asshole until he actually starts enforcing violence. Up until that point, he's just the president of the Chamber of Commerce.
Uh-huh.
And he's acting like every president of Chamber of Commerce that I've ever met.
Yeah.
Oh, he's cruising and boozing. Yeah, so does the Chamber of Commerce guy.
So there's some bimp. She's dressed like she belongs in West Hollywood. Her name is Denise, the character. She's got poofy blonde hair and skin-tight dress, and she's dressed up. Like, the ladies in this movie are dressed way too expensively for the bar that they're in.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
It's a shithole bar.
It's a shithole bar. They should be wearing just jeans and t-shirts like everybody else. But they're, like, Hollywood-style dressed up. So she goes to the bar. She's like, "Can I have a vodka on the rocks?" Some guy there's like, "I'll give you a nipple. And her response is, "I can do that on my own."
Which you can't. Those things are rock solid.
So,
So she would basically be pointing her boobs at each other.
Is
and
that what she's
squishing.
implying? Like, that's her comeback, is to take her one boob and then point it at the other boob and be like, look what I can
Which
do.
I think if you're gonna say something like that, prove it.
Yeah.
Because if I was that guy, you're an idiot. But if you've got even if you're an idiot, you go, okay, wait, let me see that.
Yeah.
And then
okay.
you're, okay, fine, here. And you
I
go,
guess you
how about
can't
that?
do that.
All right. Well, I'm Steve, and it was nice to meet you.
Have a pleasant evening.
Have a pleasant evening. I hear they throw
Titty lady.
Yeah. You should throw some beer bottles at the band who's not that bad. That's what they do here, as I understand it.
Say hi to your motherfucker.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Bar fight. That causes bar fight. Bar fight number 1. Now, I want to disclaim at this point that I've got 2 columns of counts. One is how many times Dalton's size is underestimated, and 2, how many bar fights there are in this movie.
I eventually kept count of how many out-of-focus shots were left on screen for long periods.
I just enjoyed the entire thing.
Jackie just kept track of how many
Sam
Patrick
Elliott
Swayze's
things
butt
were on
cheeks
there.
were on
Well, I
screen.
can't, unfortunately, Jackie, we can't quantify the love in your heart with numbers.
It's 4. So Dalton is famous for bouncing, as we've mentioned, and he is just milling around looking at things, and Jeff Healey knows who he is, and like, oh, they've got a whole history of going from bar to bar throughout the United States.
Just remind me about this later when we get to the term roadhouse, but we need to get through this part.
So I guess they previously worked together in Memphis. Is that the backstory?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jeff Healey, we should mention, is the leader of the band that gets shit thrown at him.
For a while.
Famous blues musician
But that only does cover songs.
that only does cover songs.
In the
stuff,
movie,
yeah.
they only do cover songs, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's called Roadhouse.
That's
Not-
one of my questions.
Not Town Bar. Well, I'll save that then.
Yeah, because that's one of my
I
questions
think we all
too.
have that question.
So there's another lady there with a gentleman, and he's like, "Hey, look at these boobies."
Oh, fucking... What was this about?
And the dude's like, "I like boobies.
So,
Want to come suck on them for $20?"
no, kiss him.
Yeah.
Which
kiss
is
'em.
like, whatever. And
I
then
do want to come kiss them for $20, and then
he basically
Matt,
feels her up for about
like,
20 seconds.
yeah, a whole lot of boob honking.
And then he doesn't have 20
I
bucks.
don't even have $20.
Which starts the
Another
brawl.
fight.
And it's a brawl.
It's the whole bar gets into a bar fight.
Terry Funk overhead body slams a guy
Over a table.
over a table.
Yep.
Yeah. But meanwhile, Dalton is still not doing anything.
No, he just needs to size things up and go, yep, this is a shithole. If I was him right then, $5,500 gone.
You just bail.
Because ultimately, you
Head back
know
to
that
Memphis.
by the 3rd or 4th day, he's going to be like offering you honey deals like, well, I got this place for you to stay, and I know Faye over at the cafe will give you free meals, because he doesn't have that kind of money at the bar that he's running.
Now, on the other side of the token, if you're Tilgman, who's the bar owner's character's name,
Yes.
you've just laid down $5,500 and your bar is still getting fucked up, would you have been like, I made a bad choice with Dalton?
Well, you're worried, but at the same time, you saw where he came from, and he was like, we do things my way.
Or the highway.
Or the highway. And then you're waiting for him to,
Do anything.
like, ride through a jungle with dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the last time I heard somebody say, we're doing it my way. Before I watched this movie, like, we're doing it my way. And then that guy would be having the same concerns. Like, oh, dinosaurs, and he's riding around with them. This is not the plan.
Question number 1, are velociraptors as good to have on your side as Sam Elliott?
Or the dirt ball jackasses that live in that town. That's his velociraptors, and that bar is his motorcycle.
Yeah. Well, the next day, Dalton buys a car and some tires. Because
And
he knows.
This is a question for later.
Okay. Oh, okay. Because he knows what's coming. There's a house for rent on a lake pond thing that just happens to be directly across from the bad guy. Spoiler alert.
It's upstairs in a barn.
Yeah, it's an apartment.
A nice apartment that doesn't even have a door. It's a loft that is like extraordinarily well
Fully
furnished. But at the same time,
Incredible view.
if you lived there, the entire time you would be having to fight with animals and woodland creatures.
And it would smell like shit.
It would smell like shit, but like raccoons and barn swallows, and there was
Bugs.
no way for anything to not get in there. So you would be basically fighting wilderness the entire time.
True.
The only way that you could live there without doing that is to piss all over the place.
Yeah, but then you still have the bug problem.
You wouldn't smell it because the horse shit's worse.
Yeah, well, wait, you smell the bugs? Whatever. So he rents this place for $100 a month. He's getting a sweet deal, honeypot. As I mentioned earlier, Wesley, played by Ben Gazzara,
Brad Wesley.
lives across the pond in also a Richard's house.
Is it a pond or a river?
I think it was a pond.
I thought it was a river.
Maybe it's a river. I don't know.
I couldn't tell.
He's rich. He's the king of town, essentially.
He's brought the 7-Eleven. The J.C. Penney's is coming to town because of him.
Jasper's gonna get a J.C. Penney.
That's what
Yep.
that's what he said.
Before they even get a Subway. That's ridiculous.
J.C. Penney, which I think he's probably working a deal because Sears was still big then, and you think Sears would have showed up first because they just showed up with the shipping centers.
Well, the next night it's training time at the bar. He's firing people left and right. You're selling drugs. You don't have the mentality for it. It's my way or the highway. I'm gonna kill you, dude. Whatever. Rule number 1, he goes over. Never underestimate your opponent. Number 2, take it outside. Number 3, be nice.
No, the number 1 was stupid because it was 2.
What?
It was never underestimate your opponent.
Uh-huh.
Was it the size? Was that the second part of it? Yes.
Yeah, sure. When I never underestimate your opponent would probably, judging him by his size is probably part of that.
There was another contingent that was stupid.
You're stupid.
I'm not stupid.
Take it outside, bro. Oh, I broke the third rule. Be nice.
Be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I am no Dalton. Be really, really, really nice is the end statement. Be super nice.
Super nice.
Wonder if somebody calls my mother a whore.
Well, is she?
Is she?
That was a good line. And then wipe that smile off that toothpick-eating face.
I thought chicken dick was the best.
Chicken dick was awesome.
So, it turns out, because I going into this film, I had a question that got explained right here.
Sure.
What's the difference between a cooler and a bouncer? The cooler manages the bouncers.
I guess.
He knows when it's time to stop being nice, and he will let you know when it's time to stop being
He
nice.
just nods at people who then do the wrong thing, and then he shakes his head at the guy that's his boss. Then he nods at another person, and then shakes his head, and then the next day they have a meeting that says, so you should get a radio or actually fucking talk to him or something, because nothing's going right around here.
Yeah, your guys keep getting their asses kicked.
I'll just burn a question right
Sure.
here. Did you guys see anybody being nice? Any of the bouncers be nice to anybody in this film?
They did.
Yeah,
At the
when-
very first sequence of him being nice, the blonde guy who sort of disappears for the rest of the film.
No, he's there here and there. But yeah, he tries to get this lady to stop dancing on the table. And he's like, hey, buddy, maybe we should get her down from there.
Then the guy pulls a knife.
And then Dalton's like, head nod.
No, he goes and grabs the knife from the guy's hand and breaks his face over the table.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
But he still hasn't thrown a punch, because that doesn't happen for like 26 minutes.
Well, nobody died that night, thank God. That's an achievement. First night Dalton's there, or second night Dalton's there, nobody died.
Because I have 13 questions,
Holy shit.
I'm just gonna burn some. Where the fuck is the sheriff?
Where the fuck is the sheriff?
Where the fuck
Yeah,
is the sheriff?
Where
Never
are they
shows
putting
up
the
until...
corpses?
Where does the deputies? Where is city government? We know where the hospital is eventually, and that's all they've got. Big business.
They got fire trucks, too.
Yeah, we see
that.
those. Bars and fire trucks and hardware store.
So, like, what are they... Where is the sheriff?
Well, we do find out later that Wesley owns them, but it's briefly
But at
mentioned.
the same time,
like,
if you're the sheriff,
oh,
you have
Wesley
to,
owns
like,
the sheriff.
have to be doing something. He's just,
You have to be doing something.
He's guarding the area that will be the groundbreaking to J.C. Penney's will be held later that
There's
week.
only so much sweeping under the rug that one man can do.
Yes.
You're the sheriff. You're an elected official. Sure, Wesley paid for your campaign, and, maybe Wesley's paying you under the table or whatever. There's only so much you can hide.
Yes.
Corpses are a real big problem to hide.
Nobody seemed to give two shits about the throat rip guy.
Yeah, well.
He gets his throat ripped out, he shoves him in the pond or
He just
whatever.
floats down the river. Spoiler alert.
Oh, that was... There's another
Fuck
question.
you! Throat rip!
He just floats down there.
Well, next day...
He's like Moses.
He gets trapped in the willows and he becomes the son of a king.
Is it you, Moses? No, it's some guy that ripped the sleeves off of his own shirt before another man ripped his Adam's apple out.
Is it you, Moses? The next day, Wesley runs Dalton off the road. So Swayze goes home and practices what I like to call Swayze Rate, the infamous scene where he's out there just doing
his own Tai Chi.
Yard, yeah.
His over-exaggerated Tai Chi.
I like the expression on the landlord's face when he sees him like, whoa.
There was a conversation that happened, out of the diegetic where he's like, you haven't given me the $100 yet, but you're good.
You're real good.
You're real good.
Forget the $100. Just keep oiling up and doing the Chai Chi or whatever that is on the side of the pond.
So I know that we're going to ask this question later, but I'm just going to go ahead and disclaim that at this point in the film is when we get told where Wesley gets his money. There will be
Chamber of Commerce.
He is the supplier of booze to the bar.
One.
I didn't even know he was the Chamber of Commerce.
No, he was like the quote-unquote protection racket was the Jasper City Prosperity Fund or something like that. Which ultimately, if you're bringing in J.C. Penney, it's working.
Well, he's going to shut off the supply line of booze to the bar because he doesn't like Dalton's style, I guess.
No, because Dalton fired his nephew.
Oh, that's right.
From the bar because that guy was skimming.
Skimming.
Yeah. My next note is knife fight! Just because there's knife fights all over this place.
You notice that Swayze takes a knife every time a knife comes out?
Yeah.
He lets it
graze him,
yeah. He likes being cut. He would be a cutter if he wasn't a bouncer.
If he wasn't a cooler.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that alliteration.
So Dalton has to go to the dock, which is when he meets his future babe, Elizabeth. Doc Elizabeth.
Did you notice her spray tan went away in the second half of the movie?
I didn't.
I did.
Yeah, her complexion really cleared up in the second half. Like, she was like, oh, your skin isn't that bad. Why did they spray you with oil in the first half of the movie?
Played by Kelly Lynch.
Yeah.
She's not hot. Her hair is really stupid.
Her hair is super dry, like straw.
She's got that bony neck.
Although
thing
I will
on.
say flattering things, she has strong features.
Okay, fine. I actually think her face is okay, but she's portrayed as in like, ooh la la.
I think that there is
wait,
because she
Dalton's
is just
the king of the world, and he's the what?
She's so slender that there's certain things you have to wear when you're that goddamn slender, and they did not put her in any of those things during this movie.
Low-cut shirts are not one of them. Anyway, so it turns out he's had 32 broken bones, some stabbing, some gunshots. She's like, how can you stand it? Doesn't it hurt? Pain don't hurt. The line of the movie. We have to at least remark on it.
Even though there's so many other things that happen in the movie that are more notable than that.
Dalton's also got a degree in philosophy from NYU, we find out. So he's a learned man. But
from New York.
Yeah, none of it is karate learneds. We have no idea where he learns his ninja training.
No. I think that was probably from Wade.
Maybe?
Why did he even meet Wade? That was one of the questions.
Why is Wade in this movie?
Because he's sexy. He's sexy Wade.
Because I guess... No, I'll tell you why he's in this movie. We'll come to that. I know why Wade is in this film.
All right.
So Bigfoot shows up.
The truck.
The truck. Not Bigfoot, the Sasquatch. Bigfoot, the 1988 Ford jacked up truck with big tires.
This is a bit of a tease and payoff.
Uh-huh.
In fact, when is the last time we watched a movie for this podcast that had such a long tease and payoff?
The Bigfoot?
The Bigfoot shows up and keeps showing up and keeps showing up before finally it gets paid off.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's why.
Yeah, but still, why is it there?
Because they could. They had it.
Is it Wesley's truck?
No, it's that one douchebag's truck.
It's
So he just
Wesley
Bought
owns the whole
Bigfoot.
town, as
he
far
just
as I can
bought
tell.
Bigfoot. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy Bigfoot.
Mhm.
Oh,
No, I think it's
whatever.
Wesley's Bigfoot, so that he can do what he does later.
Yeah. Wesley's boys are in trouble because they got their asses kicked by Dalton. The boss is disappointed with bleeders and pain. He doesn't like it.
Bleeders.
Yeah. Stop your bleeding and your painings. 'Cause
He
pain
doesn't
don't
like
hurt.
insincere apologies either.
Yeah.
Tigger is very sincere.
Tinker. Oh, the fat boy.
Is
Tinker.
it Tigger or
Yeah, it's
Tinker?
Tinker.
Tinker. Okay.
Meanwhile, Wesley's boys go out and rob Red, the local auto parts store guy, because they're, as you mentioned, running a protection racket in town.
Or actually running a Jasper, Wyoming Prosperity Fund. That is to be determined.
For 10%.
Fair
They're
enough.
running it the wrong way.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, I see where you're going. We'll table that for now. So Dalton calls Sam Elliot, who is Wade, and he is tough.
And he is at a titty bar with a wet G-string
Again.
contest.
You're the best. Well, I am the best. Why are you at a strip mall 10 by 40 strip club
Uh-huh.
if you're the best?
That's what I'm saying. He's tough because I'm gonna punch some guys and do some stuff. No, you're not the fucking best. You are just schmo. You are bouncer. You are just a bouncer. He is every bouncer that's ever existed. You're just there.
So is Swayze,
yeah.
other than he decided to charge
Swayze
too
knows
much.
karate, at least.
Swayze has some good business sense.
Yeah.
It's like, this whole thing is monkey business. I'm at least going to get mine.
So he calls Wade to find out if Wade's got any info on this Wesley guy.
Why would he?
Why
he
would
has
he?
info
He's a fucking bouncer.
on titties and beer. He's like, no, partner, I don't. I can tell you what, though, I'm looking at a nice set of cans, and I'm going to have me a MGD later.
It's pretty good, Sam.
I've been wanting to do that. Like, I'm going to try to keep getting into a Sam Elliott here and there.
So
Don't you dare make fun of my Sam Elliott.
the next day,
Sam Elliott doesn't make fun of you. Wait. You don't make fun of Sam Elliott. Well, he makes fun of you.
So the next day, the Double Deuce has been cleaned up. It's got a new paint job. It's brighter inside. Did you guys notice that? That they
Uh-huh.
turned the lights
they
on?
turned they spent $78,000 because they got Dalton.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now they're going to be able to make $300 a night more than before they got him.
That's right. And they
'cause they
swept
ran
the
out of
hair. They swept the hair off, or the hay off the floor.
Uh-huh.
And they took down the chicken wire.
Yeah, there's no cage protecting the band.
And there's
now,
comfortable
'cause
carpet.
They don't need it.
They don't need it, yeah. You don't throw things at Jeff Healey band anymore.
Well, it's all fun and games till Bigfoot shows up outside. So Wesley boys, they've come to pick a fight.
And the guy came so close to doing it when he jumped out of the truck. Did you see how tough it was for him to barely graze the F-150 that was next to it?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. I think it was a Bronco next to it. He had to use his belly to slide down the other car. Because if you just hopped out of that thing, you were going to eat so much shit. It was a trip to the hospital jumping out of that car if it was parked that close to another car.
Well, Elizabeth shows up for the fight and sees it. She's impressed. She likes fighting.
She doesn't.
She doesn't like fighting, but her attitude totally turns on how hot and bothered she gets by Dalton once she sees him beat a few people up.
She's every woman on Plenty of Fish.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So they go to dinner, have a nice time, come back to the bar. Oh, there's a sign in his car. Stop it, Dalton.
Well, that was the 3 layers of stop, because, they fucked up his car, and they'd already been sending the message, so they had to get explicit. So they put a stop sign in there, so that he would exactly know, maybe he didn't know that we wanted him to stop doing things.
Maybe they should have got a start sign.
And then-
start getting on out of our town.
Also, when Dalton pulls up, well, it's 4 layers, because Kelly Lynch's character knows to stop there.
Uh-huh.
Because she does.
You're not going to have a nightcap.
Well, no, she knows to stop her car.
Oh,
there.
Oh, so it's actually a stop sign.
It still services as a stop sign. She's like, where's your car? And he's like, it's the one with the stop sign sticking out. And she's like, oh, I should stop. Do I stop before the sign? He's like, you always stop before a stop sign.
So it's a weapon of vandalism. It's a stop sign for cars. It's a stop sign for wandering hands, and it's a stop sign for Dalton to stop beating everybody up.
Yes, it is all of those things because he has to like, no, I won't bang you on the first not date.
This is the most Shakespeare-esque that this film gets.
I don't remember Shakespeare having stop signs and wandering hands.
Oh yeah, it's in The Tempest.
It's King Lear.
So it's a good thing he got that spare car, so they didn't fuck up his Merc. They also flattened his tires earlier, and that's why.
That's why he had the extra tires. They're so stupid. He knows how to make a plan.
So the next day, Wesley wants to see Dalton, so he brings him over to his pad. He has the boys round him up, brings him over there, and I guess he tries to buy him? Like,
How much money will it take for you to work for me?
Basically, was what he was asking.
why does he... Why
So,
just...
I'm burning another
twice
question.
as much as I'm making right now.
what does Dalton care about more? Money or his personal philosophy?
What's his personal philosophy?
Exactly. So I can't imagine, because the guy is a dick to everybody.
But
He's
Dalton's
always
had no experience with him until now, other than the fact that he threw a party one time that had ladies that got their boobies
Yeah,
out.
I missed that note, because
Oh, he
Brad
ran
Wesley.
him off the road, but he's not going to.
Yeah, but that's just because he's cruising and boozing.
Yeah.
He didn't care. He was singing a song. And, you know, as far as Swayze knows, he's just driving like an asshole.
Right.
You can't really get on somebody's case and
If
driving like an
I
asshole.
was just taking the first job for the double deuce, but from some guy that I just fucking met off the side of the road, like comes
Yeah.
into my bar and is like, "Would you like to make $5,000 and then $500 a day?" And then some other guy's like, "How much is it going to take for you to come to work with me?" My morals at this point are probably like $10,000 up front, $1,000 a night.
Or
Done. You work for Wesley now.
or you say, like, what sort of time limit are we, like, you're working, we're not talking about terms, like, what kind of time limit, what are we talking about? And then you counter with, you know, well, right now I'm making $250, so I'd want more than that. I'd want significantly more than that. And then he comes back and says, all right, you know, $500,000 a year, even though I make $38,000 being the king of this town.
Yeah. So he declines. I don't know why. I guess he doesn't like him. Whatever.
It is a scene that's weird because there isn't any classic bad guy, good guy philosophy. None.
So he goes to work that night. The double deuce is now painted up. There's a line outside. Keith David now works there. It's a nice Keith David cameo.
He's not a cameo. He's like in there, but it's just so underutilized. He gets one
Hey,
line.
it's Keith David.
How are you doing? Well, we're almost out of booze. That wasn't it. That was a Master
That's
Chief.
better than I could do. Yeah, they're low on booze now because Wesley's not going to supply him anymore.
I don't know how you could ever be on set with Keith David. Maybe they brought him in just to be an extra and they gave him a line, but like how you could be a director or anybody, get that guy on set, hear his voice one time and not be like, I need that guy to have a line every 20 minutes.
Gazira, what's his name?
Ben Gazzara.
Ben Gazzara, you're out. Keith David is the bad guy of this film now.
Oh, don't even get on. I know. At this point, it's like everybody else, you're out. Ben Gazzara, Keith David, you're in. Terry Funk, you can hang around just in case we need some muscle.
Well, Dalton takes Doc back to his place, and it's sexy time now. I've been really trying.
I'm pretty sure that this is the same song that he had sex with Baby in Dirty Dancing.
So wait,
in the cabin.
all right,
I'm
hold
pretty
on.
sure it's the exact same song.
And if you
They had
feel
sex and Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
like I feel, baby.
That's gross.
Oh.
Isn't she like 16 in that movie?
Yeah.
Woo.
Are they in Utah?
I don't know where the hell they are.
Or Alabama or New Jersey or like 15 other states in the Union?
They got it all.
So what did you think about it, Jackie, when they...
What? Yeah, sexy.
Yeah.
It looked like he was pulling her ass cheeks apart.
Yes, it did, didn't it?
Like he was trying to peel, you know, like when you're trying to get an orange and you're trying to get it to break in half. That's kind of what it felt like. Like he was just like parting the orange, trying to get in there. It was like, what the... Okay, you know what? That hurts actually when you pull my asshole two different directions, trying to get in there. So could you not? I mean, what is he doing? Trying to get a good hold and like maybe sticking a finger up her butt so that she doesn't fall down, or what is she doing?
Deeply in her eyes with his Swayze eyes, and is like, "But it hurts so good, don't it?"
After he puts her on the wall and
Pain
he's
don't hurt.
yanking her ass apart harder and harder, it's probably because he's sticking his dick firmly against the rock wall.
Yeah,
and
he
he's
misses.
like, it's not going in. Maybe I just pull her ass apart more and it'll find its way. No, sir, you're about 3.5 feet off.
And they look uncomfortable the entire time.
Uncomfortable the entire time. They're like scared of making contact with each other's faces. Like it's lean in. No.
It's like a bird that's trying to peck something, like a piece of worm or something. Like, I'm going to get it. No, I'm not going to get it.
Nope.
Game of mommy bird, baby bird.
Yeah.
Icky. I would say that this is the second worst sex scene I have ever seen
I'm
in my
still
life.
not certain it's not the worst.
Tommy Wiseau's ass really, really makes
So,
sex scenes not sexy.
I'm going to make an argument for
so
this
I'm gonna
one
say
right
that's
now.
the worst I've ever seen is The Room.
There's a lot of sex scenes on par with The Room that are bad. That, yeah, they're missing. They're not hitting the right spots. They at least do the soft lights, the candles, too many boobs,
Boys
too
to
much
men.
man parts.
Yeah.
It's like 4 minutes long.
Uh-huh.
This is like 45 seconds, maybe a minute long, and it doesn't even get to them having sex. They
You know
just
what? You're
do-
right. This is the third worst sex scene I've ever
Oh.
seen. Showdown in Tokyo, Little Tokyo has the worst sex scene.
Yeah, that's really bad. I'm going to say that Showdown's probably first and this is second.
I'm pretty sure that her ass hurt after this scene.
Yeah. It's not good. So, they have a post-sex cigarette outside. Where are you going to go from here? To work, you stupid.
Like, I'm just going to go to the next place.
Well, how? No, he's going to go to work. He has a job. That's
no,
what
she's asking what he's going to do.
After?
No, she's like, you can stay, right?
She's at his house.
No,
No,
they're talking
stay
about life
into town.
in town.
Why
Build-
is he going to leave? He's got a sweet gig.
Because that's what he does, Justin.
He
He fixes up the bar, and then the next asshole
He shouldn't
comes
do
in.
that. He should just stick around and get paid $500 a night because guess what, Dalton? You're a fucking bouncer. You're never... That's doctor money, you stupid asshole.
He's the Donald Trump of carnies,
Yeah.
moving from town to town.
They go from port to
He
port.
does have small hands.
Yeah.
He doesn't wear underwear, so I'm pretty sure he smells like cabbage.
Nobody was wearing underwear in this movie.
That's
The
the
ladies
tagline.
were wearing panties
Yeah, granny panties.
that were too tall.
That was sexy in the 80s, though.
Was it?
Yeah, that weird, really tall underwear.
They were like, make it taller.
Nothing like a case of the tall butt.
Yeah. Make it look like her butt is 8.5 feet tall.
Well, the next day, Sam Elliott pulls up on a motorcycle, and we should note, uninvited. Nobody called Sam Elliott and was like, hey, Wade, you gotta come and help this situation. He just shows up.
Because he knows he's been mentoring. He's like,
Oh, brother. I think
Partner.
he knows because he just got laid off from his other job because he's not that good. Hey, it's either cut your hair or walk.
cut your hair. He's at the weirdest, screwiest strip bar ever.
Well, maybe they're cleaning up
No,
their
he just
act.
shows up
Step
as like-
one is get rid of Wade because he's a dirtball.
Hey, mijo. It's time to cut ties and get out of town. Can't stay too long in this business.
Shut up, Sam. He's so good looking. You just shut up.
He's a dirtball.
Shut your mouth.
Well, the booze truck has showed up conveniently at the same time as Wade shows up, but the boys come in to stop the delivery.
And Terry Funk is just now working for Ben Gazzara. Conveniently. Like, you're still in the movie, Terry Funk.
Side switcher. Well, Dalton gets beat up. It's like 6-on-1, which didn't seem to be a problem at the beginning of the movie, but now it's a problem.
It's during the day. He doesn't have any powers.
Oh.
He's like a vampire bouncer.
Sam Elliott then comes in and saves his butt and punches guys. Hair
Hurts, donut.
full.
Yeah, like the big thing with this movie is that they always keep coming back to the knee hit. Like if you take somebody's knee out,
Mhm.
they're going to go down and the fight's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do that over and over and over again.
Yep. So here's where I learned why Sam Elliott is in this film.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Because after this fight sequence, they go and pal around. They go and pick up Elizabeth. And he's like, you got a real handful on your hands. She's a sweet kitten. He's dancing with her. And, oh, boy, I sure think those are hot ass buns. And, oh, brother, she's smart and beautiful. And, boy, oing, 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 oing.
All that and brains, too.
You know who he is? He's fucking Lando Calrissian. That's why he's in this film, is because somebody thought Lando was fucking sweet, which he is.
They
And
should have had a
we
scene.
can do that fucking too. This guy needs a bro that's like Lando.
So he should have at the diner in the morning been like, I used to be my Mercedes till I played cards against Dalton.
Is she fast? Ha.
Ha! That Mercedes Did the Kessel run less than 12 parsecs?
Okay, I'm just going to say, since we're making comparisons with movies, Danton and Dalton.
That was a question we all had, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, those names are pretty similar. How do
Yeah.
we know?
How do we know what? I know
Neither
one
wear
thing.
underwear.
Sure.
Both of them have mullets.
One of them's mullet is epic. One of them is a standard mullet.
More of a teased Heather Locklear-esque
Yeah, one of them's a lady's haircut, and the other is a straight up fucking mullet.
bitchin' mullet, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Power mullet. Well, I'm not even going to take fashion sense into the equation. Danton kills 7,000 men and gets shot by a tank. Dalton doesn't wear underwear and rips a guy's throat out. That's about as sweet as it gets. Dalton's a bitch compared to Dan.
I think,
All right.
I think Dalton would last less than 2 seconds.
But you have to admit that'd be a good movie.
No,
The
it'd
Dan
be
Dalton
about 3
movie.
seconds.
Now,
Roadhouse 2.
he only lasts longer than a second because Danton wants to see him do something stupid before he kills him.
And we, those of us just tuning in, or those of you just tuning in, Dan from a movie called Deadly Prey. If you've never heard of it, go watch it and then listen to our Stinker Madness podcast about it. So Dalton killed a guy in Memphis, it turns out. He ripped his throat out, as we are rumored earlier in the film. I already ripped a guy's throat out in Memphis, and then it turns out he killed a guy in Memphis over a woman.
Right, because the guy, he didn't know that the lady was married. The guy comes in, points a gun at him, and
What
he rips
choice
his
does
throat.
Dalton have?
Yep.
Gotta rip his throat out.
And Wade is like, look, dude, just fuck that shit. You got two choices in that situation.
You shoot
Either,
in the face,
you either
rip a
get
guy's
shot
throat out.
or you
Yeah.
kill him.
Usually when you rip a guy's throat out, you've disarmed him. And you now have the choice to not rip his throat out.
Touche. Back at the bar, suddenly the auto parts store explodes.
Yep.
Cause
But those fire trucks had really good response time. I mean, they were there like nobody's
instantly,
business.
Yeah. Well, it's a small town. They don't have far to go. Wesley's in the bar. He's gloating about it. He's being all bad guy-y. Place is now empty, but then Denise decides to do a slut dance.
I'm a slut. Look at my
Get 'em
underwear.
out.
Look at my. Okay, so I think that
My Hollywood fake hands. She is West LA. This
Yeah.
is...
Okay, and also with this is we got to go back to this high underwear. I'm starting to think that in the 80s, women just had really high butt cracks.
I don't
Like that
think
was
so.
fashionable. Maybe they were getting
I
cosmetic
think-
surgery to get elongated butt cracks.
No, they just went, hey, one guy was like, you know what's sexy? And he brought out the design, and they're like, sir, that is suspenders that are holding up a woman's butt crack. That will not work. And then the high underwear was the compromise.
So Jimmy gets called in to represent against Dalton because Dalton doesn't like the sexy dance. He doesn't stop in time. She gets her cans out. So spoiler alert: if you want to see Denise's boobs, they come out. Jimmy, however, is like Jackie Chan. He's got a pool cue and he's like, yeah. Dalton's like, it's fine, boys. You can take him. So he sends out 4 of his guys and they all get their asses kicked.
Which, bad job, Dalton. You should know they're not going to be able to handle this tool.
Yeah, that guy is 600 pounds. He's not going to be able to move fast enough to get
yeah.
out of the way of the pool cue.
Dalton's boy. So they get Sam Elliott involved as well. Fight. Dalton's involved. Fight. Wesley stops the fight with the gun. All right, boys, that's enough.
Yeah, but he has to save Wade because he's got a bad knee.
Mhm.
Most likely from the knee move
Yeah.
that was pulled on him at one point, because
Hey.
that's the ultimate move.
Uh-huh. Right. The next day at the car dealership. Why?
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot crushes the dealership.
Because they had a secret meeting right before the scene where the dealership guy, the bar owner, and
Uh-huh.
the automotive shop guy,
Uh-huh.
after his place gets exploded, they're like, "We'll fight back. Don't you have insurance?" And he was like, "No, I don't think you get it. Fuck this town. I'm out of here." And he's packing up his shit. And the other two are like, "Well, you have insurance. We can do this. So, I'll help you get back on your feet." And he's like, "No."
He doesn't say no. I will give you the exact line. Well, don't you have insurance? You don't understand. We have to stop this guy. That is not an answer to whether he has insurance or not. Yes, you have had enough of Wesley. You are not the guy to take on Wesley. Call your insurance. Call the police. My bar got exploded.
Yeah.
The town is burning to the fucking ground. Yes, I have a claim to file. I get my check. Oh, great. Now I can leave. Fuck taking on Wesley. You're an auto parts dealer.
Yeah. But at this point, now we have a Bigfoot running over the car dealership while Brad Wesley is making it happen, and the whole town is watching, and the sheriff is absent.
Out there.
And
I still don't understand Wesley's motivation to run over the car dealership. Like, cause
don't fuck with me.
he's not...
Because he was being a backstabber.
Because he had a discussion about, well, don't you have insurance? Wesley's like, well, you can't talk about insurance in my fucking town, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He's not even there, Jackie. He didn't hear the conversation.
But maybe he just didn't pay the 10%. And then he
Either
was
way,
like, you're going down.
You are inferring a whole lot here.
Either way, at this point, you can then say, well, we don't have to file an insurance claim. We can call a governing body of law enforcement above our sheriff because the entire town just witnessed a man force another man to drive a monster truck through one of our established businesses to teach him a lesson.
Yep, cuz.
Just
He also-
because.
And also previously, the night before, he fired off a gun in public. Can't do that. Discharge of,
Again, that's a sheriff situation that he could look the other way.
Yeah.
Running through a car dealership and smashing property at that level, not something that can be swept under the rug.
Well, Dalton's had enough. He's pissed, so he's gonna go train and shit. So he goes back to his gym house.
Starts punching a post with some shit on it.
Sam Elliott shows up.
Where does he
He's
get
like,
that shit?
You gotta be
I'm burning a
tougher.
question. Where does he get that shit?
It's there. So Emmett's house explodes. It was Jimmy. Jimmy rides off on a motorcycle. Vroom, vroom. Dalton tackles him. They have a big fight on the beach.
Yep. And he was going to shoot Dalton.
Which
Several times. Dalton almost gets shot like 20 times in this film, but he just keeps kicking.
we
shit
have
out
to
of
talk
hands.
about this a little bit.
Okay.
He's riding the motorcycle away, and he gets chased
Laughing about
down,
it.
like laughing about it, like he wants to beat up Swayze so bad, but then he's riding away on a motorcycle.
Why didn't he just blow up Swayze's house?
That's a real good question.
Yeah.
Because the girl was there.
Who fucking cares?
Well, the bad
Ben
guy
Gazzara
is in love with her.
Yeah, I don't think he is. Not in love enough to stop defeating your mortal enemy.
Well, I mean, that is the thing he says at the end. I always wanted to fight you, Dan. So maybe there's some of that too. But either way, the guy's
Ben
riding
Gazzara's
around on
also a fucking trained martial artist.
he can throw a spear.
Yeah.
He's riding on the motorcycle, and he's just going away. Do you want to fight him or don't you want to fight him? Because if you wanted to fight him, you wouldn't be riding away on a motorcycle.
True.
Meanwhile, Patrick Swayze then runs down said motorcycle
Faster than a motorcycle.
and kicks him off of it barefoot in sweatpants.
Mm-hmm. Lots of fighting. Dalton almost loses. Gets his foot caught in a tree. Jimmy gets his foot caught in a tree. Dalton takes advantage of it and punches him a bunch of times, then rips his throat out and tosses him in the river lake.
And then his girlfriend doesn't even care about him and runs and is like, "Is that man okay?"
Yeah.
The man that just tried to blow us up and kill you and that other guy and me. Is he okay? No, I just ripped his throat out to save our lives.
He's quite dead, and she's like, oh!
And then leaves him.
Yeah.
Just like every
then-
other woman he's ever known.
But then Dalton drags that corpse a little bit further out into the river thing and was like, fuck you!
And then sets it afloat so that it can become baby Moses.
That's right.
Or just beaver food.
Beavers don't eat that.
Sure they will. They'll eat anything.
Alright.
So after that, Dalton goes to work.
No, that's the thing that this is a key point. That all happens. Shit went down pretty hard, and he's like, alright, well, I guess I'll just go to bed now, and then get up and go to work. And then he gets up and goes to work. Guess what, bud? Shit is way worse, because you were just like, tip of the spear. Let's go to bed. Let's go to bed. War has been declared on my ass.
yeah.
I think I'll just go to bed
And
now.
they go to work. Well, Wesley calls the office. Hello? Oh, hey, it's Wesley. I'd just like to let you know that it's either going to be Wade or Elizabeth that dies based off of the flip of a coin. Okay, whatever. Hangs up. Because Wade stumbles in and he's all beat up. So I guess everybody's okay. Who beat up Wade?
It was the bait and switch.
Well, I understand, but why was he beat up? He's not dead yet. They haven't attacked him yet.
No,
Or
they beat
stabbed
him up, to tell him, to lure him as the bait and switch. Like, oh, you think it's this guy that's gonna be okay because he got away.
Oh, he got away, so I gotta go check
And then
on
he's like, oh, I
Elizabeth.
gotta go rescue my girlfriend.
But she's just at work.
And she's just doing her thing. And he's not
Looking
really
at
going to
x-rays.
kill her anyway.
Yeah.
I think the coin toss is a ruse
Yeah.
to begin with. And then he leaves long enough for his buddy to get stabbed.
Back at the bar, Wade's dead. It was Tails.
Talus.
Talus, yeah, that's what Jackie said. It was Talus. No, it's Tails,
I
Jackie.
can't read.
So now it's
But you were very convinced. Talus, he's the one who stabbed me.
now it's time for Invasion Wesley Estate. The Merc runs in, hot. Guys are shooting at it. Jumps some hedges and explodes midair. Oh, but Dalton's not in it.
But the knife that was used to
Yeah.
stab Wade is.
Yeah,
Burning
stabbed into
question.
the gas pedal.
Did he jump out of the car? Did he ghost ride the car?
Mhm.
Was he already there? Like he stabs the throttle down with the knife, and it visibly showed the knife not going through the throttle body.
Correct. Right, it's like in
Or
there,
not
maybe
the throttle
like a
body, but the gas pedal. It
third
doesn't
of
go
an
through
inch.
there. And was he in that car at any point?
He goes really ninja in this scene. He's invisible. He is killing guys faster than they can even move. There's just corpses everywhere, and he's
Terry Funk.
totally hidden the
Yeah.
entire time. Nobody even knows where he's at. There's just bodies piling up.
Yeah. Terry Funk's a big deal in the wrestling scene at this point still. No payoff on that. You would expect there to be a climactic scene with those two. Doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen. The climactic scene is Tinker gets polar bear to death, but he doesn't die. Spoiler alert.
He gets scared and passes out.
I think that's what happens.
Or
I
he
was
just
kinda-
hits his head. You can never really
I don't
tell.
know. He gets a polar bear dropped on him. Either way, that was Dalton's grand plan, was like, this guy's getting polar beared. You guys make a good match, or whatever
That
the fuck
was
he says.
so bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a spear fight against Wesley.
I always love the spear that you can tell is being tugged by a rope.
Yeah.
It
moves.
speeds up halfway through its
Yeah.
flight path and then really sticks into something like, wow, that guy can really throw a spear.
He's a master. Dalton beats him up finally. He's just about to throat rip him. No, I won't do it.
Girlfriend comes running in.
Again with the
The
throat
whole
rip.
town comes running in.
Like, it's again, like, you either kill him or he kills you, partner. No, usually when you can pull the throat rip, you've got them into a position of submission. You're just killing a man to kill a man.
I just want to know why the throat rip. Why was
Who
the
came
throat
up
rip?
with this? Like, really?
That's his move. Knees and throats.
I'll say, because that's one of my chief questions.
Well, we'll bring it back. So we're almost done. Elizabeth runs in. Hey, Red's there too. Oh, guess what? John Eagle, the landlord's there. Bar owner's there. The car dealer's there. Shooting up Wesley. Wesley gets shot in the chest at point blank with shotguns 5
Yeah,
times.
terrible, horrible death.
There would be nothing left of him. But after every shot in the chest, he stands up and like, Et tu, Brute? No, you're fucking dead, bro. After the first one, you've got a watermelon-sized hole in your body.
The way it plays out where the sheriff shows up and he's only got one guy with him. This is a real situation where the sheriff had been that bad. That guy's going to take about 5-2. And they're both going to end up in the same hole.
Yeah.
And his
indeed.
deputy's like, hey, shit, I'll play ball.
Well, it turns out Tinker's okay. You see anything, Tinker? Polar bear fell on me.
Yep,
Yep.
That
it
is
sure
what happened.
did.
Movie ends with post-killings skinny dipping.
I'm pretty sure Swayze's wiener flopped.
Yep.
All right. We think Swayze went nude in the
Yeah.
skinny dippings.
But they both wear their watches.
Give me your questions.
Why is this movie called Roadhouse?
That's my question. What is a roadhouse?
A roadhouse is a place where bands come periodically, like on regular intervals. Different bands show up and play there as they're on the road. It's a touring house or a roadhouse where different bands would play. This movie is called Roadhouse, although the bar has a house band, making it very much not a roadhouse.
Well, according to dictionary.com, a roadhouse is an inn, a dance hall, a tavern, a nightclub, etc., located on a highway, usually beyond city limits.
In the music scene, though, a roadhouse is a place that different bands will stop off and play
Yeah.
for a decent audience.
I'm going to go with dictionary. Not you. You lose.
So it's not about music?
No, it's
Or
not about
bars?
music. It's just like
So it's an
Porky's.
inn.
Porky's is a roadhouse.
Okay, whatever.
This is not a roadhouse.
But
This is a bar.
in terms of the music scene, a roadhouse is a place that bands would be able to stop.
Just keeps trying to dig his way out.
No, I'm not.
The guy that invents words and defines them.
I kind of,
Webster.
I invite the Twitter community to join in on this discussion.
I think
What's a
you guys
roadhouse?
both have a point.
No, but
Because
in
the-
music scene, a roadhouse is a place where bands come and play. Like the Neurolux is a fucking roadhouse. Different bands play 3 nights a week.
Right. But what I'm saying is that the band that you called the house band, they admit in the beginning of the show that they have also been playing in Memphis and that they're moving around just like the
Yeah.
Cooler does. And so that's why I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense that why you saying it's a roadhouse, because they probably are just doing like a set time frame there before they move on to something else.
No, a roadhouse is they're there one night and they're gone.
Oh, all right. Well, whatever. Fuck you.
According to 3 different dictionaries, a roadhouse is only a bar or a tavern on the side of the road outside of city limits.
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
So I don't know. I guess for both of us, though, your question is unanswered because this bar is clearly within city limits and also only has one band. It should not be called
It's
Roadhouse.
not called Roadhouse.
Yeah. My first question is, why go to this place? Because it's high risk.
Like if you're a customer?
Yeah. Like, there's a pretty good chance you're gonna die. Is it because of all the ladies that are dressed up to the hilt? Why are you going there?
Maybe the other bar closes at like 10. And so this is the only one that
Yeah.
stays open till 2.
Oh, it can't be open that late because Wesley's still having after parties after Dalton gets off of work.
Those are sexy parties. Those are different.
Okay. Sam?
Can you rip a throat out?
I would think so.
I don't think you can.
Why do you think you couldn't?
That's a pretty big muscle.
All right,
You'd have to be
let
strong.
me back this up. Can you rip a throat out that fast?
No.
Okay. I mean, if you're going to rip somebody's throat out, I think that's going to take like 3 minutes of
I think
digging
it's gonna
and
be a
clawing,
real chore.
and there's just no way to actually do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. No, I'm going to say definitely not.
My next question. Why was the bad guy's girlfriend beat up doing aerobics? What was the point of that scene?
Because he's evil.
Yeah, dude, she's a slut city. I just didn't get it. Like, is that what's supposed to make us think that this
She's
guy...
the Roadhouse.
Oh, no.
Different band there every night and outside of city limits. And by city limits, I mean the butthole.
Oh, my God. That was ridiculous.
The armpit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What happens if Wesley wins?
Then the Chamber of Commerce and the community wins.
And they get a JCPenney's.
Jackie's right. If he wins, they get a JCPenney's.
That's right.
And then after the groundbreaking for the JCPenney's, he's like, I had to blow up Red's mechanic shop. He has insurance. I had to drive my big foot through the car dealership. He has insurance. Why are you guys assholes? We got our JCPenney's.
That's right.
Sam?
I have to make sense of this film in some way. I already know the answer to my question. Does Ben Gazzara's character also sell drugs?
No.
I'm going to go with no. There's no implication of that.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
There was drugs being sold in
At
the
one
Roadhouse.
point, yeah.
The movie is told from Patrick Swayze's perspective.
Uh-huh.
We've already talked about how the film can't hold itself up under its own legs. There's no money for any of this to happen at all. So, what is actually happening is that Ben Gazzara is actually moving a high volume amount of drugs through that community. And Patrick Swayze is so stupid that he's like, I'll teach you how to bounce a bar. Here's how you do it. And he doesn't actually see the big picture. And he fucks with a guy and kills him for no reason. And all those guys that shot Ben Gazzara are actually just shooting him to get into the drug money. That's what really happened.
Ooh.
That's high conspiracy.
Well, that's the only way to explain the amount of money that they're talking about that's happening in this town.
It's true. That's true. How else do you pay Dalton?
How else do you pay any... How does Ben Gazzara get a mansion that big, running a protection racket of 10% of 3 fucking...
In a town that's only got like
Yeah.
1,500 people in it.
He's taking $15 from the bar and $8 a month from Red's auto parts store. How many oil filters did you sell this month, Red? You know
6.
what? Nobody buys any oil filters. They just drive the cars until they die.
Yeah, it's a good theory, man. I don't know. I don't really have an answer for you. I can't say you're wrong because I honestly don't know what the shit is going on in this film. I don't understand Dalton's motivation. I don't understand Ben Gazzara's motivation. I don't understand anybody's motivation in this
Having
film.
seen it so many times, that's the only way that you could possibly explain the amount of money and anyone's motivation in the town is that there's actually a drug ring going on there. And it would explain Dalton a little bit because he is retarded.
Ah, yes, indeed.
He's absolutely retarded.
Another mystery solved by Stinker Madness. Now, I think it's pretty clear, just by viewing with you guys, this movie with you guys, what we all think. I am going to totally give this a recommendation. It does not make my Hall of Fame, Sam.
No, I was just saying it could because
Yeah, it
people
did.
really like this.
It did not.
It does for me.
This is a Hall of Fame movie for you, huh?
I love this
It's
movie.
up there with
I've
the
watched
Beastmaster
it.
and Teen Witch for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched this movie so many times. I love it. Every time I watch it, it just gets great. Greater.
Greater.
Oh, it's an absolute do. This is one of the movies that I wasn't allowed to watch, but got to watch anyway, and yeah, boy, when you're 8, this shit kicks ass.
It's chock full with everything that you would possibly want to see at any point in watching a bad movie. It's riffable, it's fun, it's stupid, it's pretty violent.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty violent. It's got all of it. I would say
One-liners out the wazoo.
it would have been my favorite movie growing up because I saw it when I was like 9 or whatever, and it's so risque.
Mm-hmm.
If I hadn't seen Sharky's Machine when I was 6.
Yeah.
You shouldn't watch Sharky's Machine when you're 6.
Well, next week it's my pick, and I think I'm going to pull the trigger on a little Bill Paxton, Lance Henriksen business called Near Dark. So in the meantime, get to the chopper.
Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper. Hey, this is Justin. I just want to give a quick shout out to the Adam Sandcast, which has invited us to weigh in a little bit on the upcoming release of the terribly looking movie called Pixels, starring, of course, Adam Sandler. Make sure to check out the Adam Sandcast on iTunes and follow the owner at Future Horsepod on Twitter. And check out the episode that we'll be on the 22nd.